Welcome back to The Explainer, everyone. Today, we are cracking wide open the dense, totally wild narrative layers in this latest excerpt of The Little Billionaire. We're talking about Episode 3, titled The Secret Bunker. And let me tell you, it is an absolute masterclass in tension, misdirection, and just totally flipping the script on the audience. We're going to break down exactly how the writers pull this off, mapping out the deception, the shifting character dynamics, and of course, that unbelievable cliffhanger at the end. All right, let's jump right in. The ticking wasn't a bomb. Just let that sink in for a second. We open right on this incredibly tense note, instantly plunging us into this high-stakes mystery. I mean, you hear ticking, and your brain immediately goes to the absolute worst-case scenario, right? Destruction, panic, this frantic race against time. But the narrative strips that assumption away in the very first sentence. It's basically telling us, hey, whatever you think is happening here, you're probably wrong. You really need to pay close attention.
Section 1. The holographic bomb threat.
Okay, think about what's actually happening here. On one hand, you've got this perceived threat, a ticking bomb, a physical, immediate, terrifying danger. But on the other hand, the reality is just a holographic projector casting a countdown clock in an empty room. The writer uses this initial misdirection to completely subvert our expectations right out of the gate. And it establishes this massive, overarching theme for the entire episode: illusion. Literally nothing is as it appears. While the surface level suggests this blunt force violent attack, the reality is entirely digital. It's a phantom. It sets the tone perfectly for the incredible mind games Ethan is about to unleash.
But, to really grasp the genius of the trap, we gotta understand the actual threat. We're dealing with the Viper Syndicate. This is a ruthless mercenary group, and their target is massive: Ethan's grandfather's global database. And the contrast in environments here is just wild, because while Ethan is safely arriving via a private cargo elevator into this impenetrable bunker 80 floors underground, this mercenary group has directly targeted the building far above him. They aren't playing around. They want that database, and they've gone so far as to literally kidnap Ethan's Uncle Richard to get it.
So, think about where everyone stands right now in this exact moment. The power dynamics driving this whole conflict. You've got Ethan and Marcus, his towering ex-Special Forces head of security, both totally secure in that subterranean command center. Ethan is actively tracking the Syndicate, Marcus is standing by to protect him. And then, in stark contrast, you have Uncle Richard. He's kidnapped by the Syndicate and unwillingly being used as bait. It really highlights who currently holds the physical power, which is the Syndicate holding Richard, and who holds the informational power, which is Ethan, safely locked away, quietly pulling all the strings.
Which brings us to Section 2, Ethan's Trojan Horse Trap.
Now this is where Ethan's strategy really shines. The Syndicate went in completely hot and aggressive. Their ultimate goal? The global database master key. They actually thought they had cornered Uncle Richard and secured the ultimate prize, the key to Ethan's massive fortune. But what did they actually get? A downloaded tracking beacon. Ethan is controlling exactly what the enemy believes to be true. He fed them an illusion. It's literally a digital Trojan horse that they willingly brought right back to their own hidden base.
They took the bait, Marcus. As Ethan types this out on his quantum computer, you can practically feel the entire narrative power dynamic just flipped completely upside down. He isn't panicked about his uncle being kidnapped. He isn't terrified of this elite Viper Syndicate. He is triumphant. The Viper Syndicate isn't the hunter in this scenario anymore. They're the prey. So how did he actually pull this off? Well, it wasn't some lucky, spur-of-the-moment defensive reaction. This was a highly calculated trap. Step 1. Ethan actually leaked that fake key to Richard's account weeks ago. He anticipated the Syndicate's moves before they even made them. Step 2. The Syndicate targets Richard, completely falling for the illusion and swallowing the bait whole. And finally, Step 3. The downloaded key acts as a beacon, silently broadcasting their highly classified hideout directly back to Ethan's screens. He completely dismantled the Syndicate's entire operation without ever being in the same room as them. It's brilliant.
I mean, just look at the absolute mismatch here. Ethan is operating a state-of-the-art quantum computer. He navigates via a secure private cargo elevator, he deploys fake digital keys as easily as setting a mousetrap, and he's casually got real-time access to high-resolution satellite feeds. Meanwhile, the Viper Syndicate relies on traditional, albeit violent mercenary tactics: kidnapping, intimidation, raiding buildings. But against a genius operating quantum tech from an underground bunker, come on, they never stood a chance. It is the absolute definition of asymmetrical warfare.
All right, on to our final section, the shocking principal cliffhanger.
Okay, picture this scene. Ethan and his absolute tank of a protector, Marcus, are huddled around the glow of these massive monitors. They've won. The trap worked flawlessly. Ethan zooms in on the live satellite feed of the mercenary hideout. The suspense right here is just incredible, because they are watching their unseen enemy in real time, completely undetected. They have total situational awareness. Or at least they think they do.
Because then we get this line, yes, but they aren't alone. Look who just walked into their hideout. This is it. This is the ultimate narrative twist. Up until this exact fraction of a second, Ethan had total, unquestioned control of the environment. He authored the trap, he predicted the mercenaries, he tracked their location. But this single observation completely shatters that controlled environment. An unpredictable variable has just entered the board, and all that smug satisfaction of the Trojan horse victory, that vanishes in an instant.
Which leaves us staring at this massive, mind-bending question. Why on earth is Ethan's school principal stepping out of a limousine at a heavily armed mercenary base? His two separate lives, the billionaire tech genius and the regular middle schooler, have just violently collided. So, is the principal the true mastermind? Is he another hostage? A client? It's an incredible cliffhanger that absolutely forces you to rethink everything we've just seen. Think about the implications of that twist, and I'll see you in the next explainer.